Hello, good morning. Today I am going to present a summary of the story The Grief by Anton Chekhov. This is the story from B.Ed first year, English for the new millennium, page number 104, lesson number 14. This story starts with this line: To whom shall I tell my grief? Setting Russia, searching people to share his grief. Cold season. The place is covered with snow. Character Iona Petapov, poor cab driver, whose son is lost, so his heart is filled with grief, but fails to find a man with whom he could unburden his heart. So finally he shares his grief with his horse. Barin, Iona's son, died only in this week. Officer, passenger. Three young men, passengers, who strike Iona but bears. Summary: in the twilight, thin layer of snow are setting on everything, so Iona is also covered with snow, and he looks like phantom. He never moves from his box, so now also he is in his box. His horse is looking white and motionless. They remain motionless for a long time. Iona has found no fare since he left his yard before dinner. As time passes, the noise in the street is getting louder. Iona suddenly hears a call. It is an officer who wants to go to bivouac. Iona picks up the reins. The layer of snow slip off the horse's back and neck. The officer seats himself in the sleigh. Iona waves his whip, then little horse moves. Iona is lost in his grief, so he cannot drive the cab properly. Some boys shout at him and ask him what he is doing. Somebody abuses him and asks where he is going. The officer also calls angrily that he does not know how to drive. A coachman also abuses him. The soldier of a passerby gets rubbed against the horse's nose, so he looks angrily at Iona. The officer jokes that it appears everybody has entered into an agreement to push him or pull under his horse. Getting encouraged by the joke, Iona tries to give an expression to his feelings. He says, My son Barin died this week. However, the officer remains indifferent. He just asked Iona what his son died of, but the next moment he abuses him and asks to turn around. Iona moves his whip and tries to drive the horse faster. In the meantime, the officer has closed his eyes. Iona again longs to express his feelings, but he fails. He drops the officer in bivouac and waits for another fare. After about 2 hours, three young men come with quarreling. They want to go to the police bridge and offer 20 kopecks, but he says it is not reasonable fare. He does not want money. Quarreled men tries to get on the seat at once. At last, they decided that humpback among them should stand as he is the smallest. The three men are carefree. One of them claims that he has drunk 4 bottles of wine last night, but none believes him. Humpback disturbs Iona and threatens to strike him if he doesn't drive fast, but he bears the insults indifferently. Little by little, feelings of loneliness leaves him. He looks around many times and waits for temporary silence. He gets an opportunity and says, "My son died this week." Instead of sympathizing, Humpback says, "We must die." At the same time, he says him to hurry up. His companions ask him to strike the coachman in the neck. However, Iona remains silent even to the blow. One of the men asks him if he is married. Iona gets opportunity to express his grief and says, "My son has died and I am alive." He turns round to tell them how his son died, but the young men, having reached their station, so left the cab. Once more, he is alone. Iona gets in more grief, so in crowd. He searches people to share his grief, but gets none. Iona concludes that it is useless to go to people for help. He is unable to share his grief any longer, so decides to go to stable. About 1.5 hours later, he sits near a stove around which people are asleep. He regrets returning earlier and without much earning. There also he tries to share his grief with a young cab driver, but the man gets asleep very soon. Iona longs for patient listener to tell the cause of his son's death, to funeral in detail, but none is there to listen. Finally, he goes to his house and narrates his tale of misery to his patient heart. Moral: we must express our feelings even before an animal to get re- relieved. Homo. Write an imaginative experience of grief on losing someone near and dear and its effect on family members' health. Thank you. Everybody, please like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thank you.
आत्मा त उडेर गइजान्छ पाप्लो भएर रहन्छ उडेर जाने त्यो आत्मा पुगिन्छ कुन्नी कुन ठाउँमा शरीर त आगोले खाइजान्छ खरानी